Much. How does a community recover after a direct hit from a Category 5 hurricane? Florida's Panhandle is far from back to normal. Tonight, though, we are on your side looking at lessons learned after Hurricane Michael hit last year. The hurricane struck Mexico Beach with 160-mile-an-hour winds. The storm's outer bands, they were stretching all the way to northeast Florida up to Georgia. Tonight, First Coast News, Heather Crawford and meteorologist Lauren Routenkrantz are live there and how this community is working to recover. And we were saying earlier, what, 80% of the community was wiped out?
80%, Jeannie. It is just still so devastated here. In fact, we got here yesterday, but we weren't able to stay in Mexico Beach because, Lauren, there's really no place here to stay.
Yeah, exactly right, Heather. We stayed in Panama City, which is about a 30-minute drive into Mexico Beach. But folks in Panama City want people to know that, you know, while they did hurt as well from Michael, and they still are, they're really rebuilding. They're open for business, and those businesses have a lot of open spots. They're hiring.
A lot of for hire signs we've seen here in Mexico Beach, still very much in the early stages of rebuilding. A lot of people trying to rebuild their homes that were lost during this Category 5 hurricane. But some folks like Mishelle McPherson, who I met the day after Hurricane Michael hit, have decided just to relocate.
I saw the house next door, the roof came up, and then all the walls just went and then the house fell down, the roof fell down. And
surviving a Category 5 hurricane is something you never forget. The sights and sounds of Hurricane Michael are etched in Mishelle McPherson's memory forever.
the house was just going back and forth and back and forth. And I'd walked around into the bathroom, and the water that we'd had in the bathtub, the house was moving so much it had sloshed the water out of the bathtub, and the bathtub was almost empty.
As she clung to her daughter and young grandchildren, she feared the worst.
We were on Facebook telling all our friends goodbye because we really thought we were going to die.
They all survived, but their old, quaint Florida city, she described as paradise, was unrecognizable. Hurricane Michael claimed the lives of 4 people here.
If you look at pictures of bombings in Iraq, that's what it looked like. It was like a zombie apocalypse. That's the closest thing it could be to what people would imagine. I lived here 35 years, and I could not remember what street I was on because all the landmarks were gone. The houses were gone.
Mishelle, like many who lived in Mexico Beach, has now moved away.
And I look out here now and there's nobody. It's like a ghost town. It's like somebody did a movie set here and then picked up and left. And this is what's left of it.
Coming back to the Fish House restaurant where she worked,
Entrance was right over here.
it's hard for her to look at all of the damage that still lingers nearly 10 months later.
It's still raw, it's still fresh, it still hurts. I mean, it's just like a lemon in a wound every time I come by.
The hardest part, she says, is everyone here is hurting.
And of course, they call this the Forgotten Coast, and that's our big joke now is, yeah, we are the Forgotten Coast because everybody's forgotten what's happened here. The thing is, just don't forget us and you know, keep us in your thoughts.
They don't want to be forgotten. And you know, everyone Lauren and I have been talking to, we've asked, what lessons did you learn? And Mishelle told us her advice: heed the evacuation orders. When they tell you to leave, it is time to go. She also told me, in addition to grabbing things like your important documents and your passport and insurance papers, don't forget those priceless items like your kids' pictures and your family heirlooms, because she says it's not guaranteed that they'll be there when you return.